Hi, welcome to Fit Moment. I am doing a demonstration on demand, actually by request, which it was a really good request, to talk about the neck action in Pilates. And if you go online and you look at Pilates communities or Reddit or anything, you see that a lot of people think that they are having failure in Pilates because they're not able to keep the curl up in the neck. And the curl up in the neck is part of pulling that abdominis rectus into action. And so for people who need their backs um, planted, or I'm getting such good looks over here, their the door's open, you can go out. Okay, you don't need me. Or their abdomen, that it really helps to be able to do that curl up. So first thing I'm going to do is tell you how to do the curl up and how to practice it. The next thing I'm going to do is give you some skills on building yourself toward the curl up. And the third thing I'm going to do is provide the let's say escape clause, like if you just can't get it, these are the things to do. So I did a lot of research about what different Pilates teachers recommend, and physiotherapists and physical therapists, and to see what people recommend. And I have all the same strategies that I had at the beginning. So nobody's invented anything in the last year or so to help us get through this. But let me talk about the complication. First of all, the head is 8 to 10 pounds, pretty much, sometimes 8 to 12 pounds. Secondly, it's not about the neck being strong, it's about the thoracic spine being strong. I'm going to use Brewster as a demo. Oh, don't fall over, I want to use you. The thoracic spine is the one right below the neck. It's the one where the heart's on the other side of it. So, one of the things that tells us is that's what's holding us up when we do the curl up. It's that thoracic spine. It's actually not the neck. The neck hurts when the neck has to compensate for weakness in the thoracic spine. So if that's an area where you're weak, one of the ways, and you may not know that until you do it, a Pilates curl up, couple of things you could do about that. You can start to work on strengthening the thoracic spine. Couple of ways to do that are lifts in Pilates, those upper back lifts, cobras, those kinds of things help to create high rows. Those things help to create power in the thoracic spine. If you can't get there because we are just aging and things are getting thinner, and I've never had the ability to get that part of my body stronger, then we have to figure out ways to support ourselves and our neck instead of having our neck compensate. So the solution to having a weak thoracic spine, or one that's not strong enough to hold your head up, is not to let your neck take it, but to use other ways of taking it. So let's just first look at what a curl up is. And I'll demonstrate that. I know, I'm sorry, buddy, you have my apple. I need that apple. Okay, you can use the pillow for now, but I'll need the pillow too. Put the pillow down there, and he thought it was for him. All right, I'm going to move this way so you can see me. So first of all, the best way to get into a curl up is to start with your legs in tabletop. And for a lot of people, that immediately plants your lower back onto the floor. So already you have a support system. You have that support system across the transverse abdominal. The hips are planted. The arch is softening a little bit. The lumbar arch, which we try to keep into neutral, is softening a little bit, so it gives you flexibility. That's why we don't want to push the pelvis up, because that stiffens that back arch. So my recommendations are two. One is to take a big inhale, pulling the air up under your thoracic spine. So that means crawling it up the front of your spine, up your abdominis rectus. Once you do that, there's a little feeling of levitation going on, and your body should be able to come up. Now, if that's not what's happening for you, right? Then another way I suggest is to take your arms overhead, curl your chin toward your chest. Now your head should curl immediately. Whenever you're coming up, even if you're coming up with that breath, your chin should curl immediately so the neck muscles are long in the back, right? So they're connecting to the thoracic spine muscles. So you don't want to do the curl up and keep your head toward the ceiling, or you're creating extra weight, and you're also stiff. You're pressuring the neck vertebrae to do work of holding up something it shouldn't have to hold. All right, so the arms are overhead. You're pulling through the belly. You bring those arms up, put them behind your legs, lower your shoulder blades, and then scoot your upper body toward your thighs. All right. So one of the ways you know you have the thoracic spine engaging is that your shoulder blades are off the floor. So let's stay up here and then take the shoulder blades down a little bit. All right, you can already feel the pressure come onto your neck, even though your neck is curled. Take it down a little bit more. Again, we could feel the pressure on our neck and then all the way down. So one of the ways that helps you get yourself up, pull the belly in, bring those arms up, grab up under those legs, drop the shoulders. It's really important to drop the shoulders. Look between those thighs, take the hands away and see if you can hold it. Now you may not be able to because the cinch is helping you so much. So one of the things you could do is take one hand off and then halfway through the exercise, take the other hand off. But one of the things that's important is one, that you give equal time to both sides. And second, that when you take the hand off, you don't lean to one side or the other. You want to keep that neutral alignment right here. So a lot of people, especially in the hundreds, feel like they can't stay up for this because it's all the way to 100. They start to curl down, and then, oh my God, you're feeling it all on your neck, right? And then we say, I'm a failure at Pilates because I can't keep my curl up. It's about body structure. It's about strength. Sometimes you can do all the strength you can in the world, and your body's just not going to create that support system. So there are a bunch of great pieces of advice. The first one is just lie down, right? And do the exercise. But then you're saying, but what about things like crossover where we have to be up in the curl? Well, you put your hands at the bottom of your head and push that chin toward your chest. Don't push it down on your chest. You don't want like unnatural separation, just on your chest. And then you have your crossover support system, right? So there it is. You're off your shoulder blades. Your arms aren't touching the floor as you go across. I see a lot of people drop their arms down. That's a huge rotation. And while it feels great on the obliques, it's compromising a lot of your upper body if you're not a person who has those shoulder blades off the floor. So if this part of your body, this side, this part under your armpit is falling to the floor and you're resting that arm on the floor during a curl up, you need to lift off and make that curl clean so that, right, you can stay kind of in space, right? So there are some things that curl ups have as part of their exercise. You have a support system to do that. Okay, so that's the mechanics of a curl up. Let's talk about some of the ways we learn a curl up. And that's where the apple comes in. Apple, tennis ball, orange. Clementine is even better because it's smaller. So we put it under our chin. As soon as you put it under your chin, you've already curled your head up. So you can't hold the apple and have your head, neck, this is a little thick, your neck holding your head. So you're already in that curl up right here. It's a little thick, so I'm going to grab like a pair of socks. Should have brought it. I didn't have anything smaller. All right, my gloves. Let me grab my gloves. All right, put that under my chin. All right, so if I'm holding those, then my head's already in its curl up. So I can bring my body up, right? And then I'm not letting my head fall back onto my cervical spine. Now, once in my Pilates class at the Y, we did the whole class with oranges under our chin. And people thought it was such an informative way for them to understand how to get that curl up. So let's try it again now that I've transitioned from the apple to my rolled up socks. These are my rolled up white gloves. Put it under my chin, immediately feeling that curl up. I'm going to put you up here. So this exercise, where we come down and come up, a lot of people take their heads back, they're crushing it, and then they're coming up. That's a C. You have to be in a C curve for this. So it's important that you have your head in that position. The same thing with like rolling like a ball. If you have something holding your chin, you're not chin down, you're not going to let the head go back and push down on the neck. So this is one of the best tools. And especially if you're working out at home and nobody can see you, you can put something under your chin just to start to train yourself to get that head off your neck. The second support system that I could recommend, I'm going to have to pull this out from under Brewster, is a towel. You take a towel into the long strap that we like to create out of it, or a strap. You put it behind your head and push your chin a little bit forward, taking your elbows forward. If your elbows are out to the side, then you're straining your shoulders, putting it up, putting it behind your head, curling yourself up, taking yourself to tabletop, and then you're able to perform the exercises that ask us to get those shoulder blades off the floor, right? So that really helps. But of course, it doesn't work if your exercise requires upper and lower body, right? So that's for very particular double leg exercise. Perfect for the 100s. You don't need to be pumping your arms for the 100s, but you can do the holding, right? All right. Finally, creating a support system for your exercises. And that would be, and I've got to disturb Brewster again. No, I'll let you have that one. I'll get another one. That would be a little pillow. So you put a little pillow behind you, and already your neck is released, right? So from that pillow, you can do your hundreds and still have a little bit of the expression of the spine along the floor, the lower spine along the floor that we have in the curl up. It's not going to be the same. So one of the things I would recommend is to have the pillow back there, right? And you're in your hundreds, and suddenly you're starting to feel you can't hold it up anymore, and you come down and you keep your action going, right? So we have what a roll up curl up looks like, how we create a C curve in our curl up. What are some ways of training ourselves, putting the thing under our neck? How do we support ourselves using a strap or a pillow? And then finally, the ultimate remedy is just to lie down and not even try it. So those are the things to help you with the curl up. In the meantime, we want to work on creating strength in those thoracic muscles. You want to do any kind of row that attacks the serratus and the top of the back, any kind of row. So that would be a high to low row rather than a cross. So you just have to kind of figure out what part of your body. If your shoulder blades are coming together, you're probably working that thoracic area. Push-ups too are also really good for the thoracic area, especially chaturanga push-ups because we love those. The other ones are things like coming down, not only doing our lifts, right? But doing our lifts with a strap, right? If you do the lifts with a strap, then you are always engaging that thoracic curve. And then finally, Cobra stretches and targets that. You come up and hold in those positions, drop those shoulder blades, looking straight ahead, and you're going to work more of that thoracic spine. Let's sit back into child pose and just get everything opened up after we did the focus on the top of the body. And then come into position and say, I hope this is helpful. I know that, you could be a person who's got the curl up nailed, but at some point in life, you need to have a little support. And you're like, I just can't do it today. I didn't have enough sleep. I didn't have enough food. I didn't have enough water. I'm tired from doing my chest day yesterday or the day before. So everything up here is hurting. I need a little support. Also, I think the trick, getting this here, is something that you can share with friends who always say, Pilates, it's too hard. My neck always hurts. And so one of the things we want to do is get the benefits of Pilates without having that nagging feeling that one, our neck's going to hurt all the time, or two, I'm a failure at Pilates because I don't have a strong neck. Just doesn't have anything to do with your neck, not really. So I hope this was helpful, a good fit moment, information for you to digest or pass on depending on what you need. And you get this lovely picture of the pinup boy lying right here on his pillow.